Candace, you made a mistake when writing this check out for our wedding. But don't you worry, I'm the only one who's noticed that the amount on here is wrong. What? Is there a problem with the number I wrote for you guys? When I opened up the letter with the check inside, I noticed that the amount you wrote down is so little. So I went and double-checked to make sure that wasn't the case by looking at the written out amount at the bottom of the check. You're already opening all of the letters and gifts? And when I looked at the amount you wrote out, you really did mean just $1,000. That's not something I ever expected from you, Candace. Maybe you forgot a zero when writing the dollar amount up top and just went off that? What? I'll hand you back your check and you can write us out another one, please. I'll let you take care of that one in the private rooms here if you'd like. I wouldn't want anyone seeing you write out the real amount you planned on giving us today. I'm sorry for somehow getting your hopes up like that, but when I wrote out that check, I did mean to only give you $1,000. What? What are you talking about? This is the wedding of your oldest son and his wife, me. As the mother of him, you should be giving us the largest amount of money out of everyone here. What? At the very least, I was expecting $10,000 from you. No, $20,000 should have been the very least coming from you. Are you sure? That's why I really had my hopes up for the check you'd be giving us today. And from what I know about Brent, both his family and his friends all make loads of money. That's why I was expecting you to give him even more than his friends did today. I suppose our family does tend to make more than most families, but we live out in the countryside in that old house and have never really had to spend much on anything. So sure, we have a lot of money saved up, and my husband does make a decent amount like his brother and his parents had. But I wasn't going to just give a large amount of that to Brent because he's my oldest son. No way. So you really mean to only give me $1,000? This small amount is all you set aside for me? You're calling the money I've given you there a small amount? I'm sorry, but that was very rude of you. You're the one being rude right now. This is your oldest son's wedding of all things. There is no way you only set aside $1,000 for me. I never thought that you, Candace, were so poor. You're calling me poor now? Give me a second to wrap my head around this. I am in so much shock right now that I might actually pass out. I'm very sorry for letting you expect something more out of me. I understand now that the amount I gave you and my son as a present isn't enough to satisfy your needs. But I really do think that your guys' wedding is a very special occasion, and that's why I've sorted something else out for you both.
Mom, I'm sorry to have to ask this of you, but could you please come and let me into the venue? I'm not able to open any of the doors right now, and I'm stuck out here.
What do you mean? Are all the doors locked? Or did you just forget to bring the invitation for the wedding and the staff won't let you in?
I have the invitation, but when I was just about to step inside, Mira told me to go home before locking all the doors on me. And now there's a security guard eyeing me down who won't let me back in.
Excuse me? Why would Mira kick you out of the wedding today? You're the groom's little brother of all people.
She yelled at me saying that poor people like me aren't worth letting into her wedding today.
Huh?
Actually, for a while now, Mira has been treating me like I'm inferior to her by making fun of me all the time. She always calls me a shut-in because I've still not left my parents' house or anything, but I never thought that she'd now turn to kicking me out of my own brother's wedding.
What the hell is going on right now? I never even knew that Mira's been picking on you like that this whole time.
When we're in front of you, Mom, she does everything she can to hide the fact that she hates me so that you won't get upset with her. But when it's just her and I, she'll let all of her anger out. She'll stand there calling me a neat, and will then go on to say I'm poor. And anytime our eyes meet, she'll let out this massive sigh.
Are you serious?
I've explained to her at least 10 times now that I'm always home because I work remotely. But every single time, she doesn't listen, instead resorting to the same old reply of, "I'm calling you a neat because you are one." Then she goes on to finish up with saying, "Quit it with those childish lies, you moneyless parasite." She really doesn't want to accept the truth, I guess.
She said all of that about you?
I've even asked Brent to talk with her, but she says the exact same comments to him.
Really? I get that both you and your brother aren't that close, but he knows about the kind of work you do and should be more defensive of what your career is. He needs to tell her that you do a very impressive job and that it's working remotely with connections to all kinds of musicians.
What he's told me is that he does know about my job, but just doesn't want to accept that I really make any money. Hence why he's not actually trying to get through to Mira about it. The last time I talked with him, he told me that I really am like a shut-in.
What?
I think his bias, or at least what I suspect to be bias, has to do with the fact that he went to a really famous university and is now working an elite job for some company. He also remembers me as that very gloomy brother of his that never really did anything in public school. Which is why now, even when I ask him to help defend me, he doesn't really try and puts me down as well. I really think he's just like Mira, but a little less aggressive when speaking about me.
Jesus Christ, that boy.
Why should I actually have to be at this wedding anyway? Now that I've thought about it some more, I feel stupid for coming. Mira told me to go home, so I think I'll do just that.
What? You're really going to leave?
I have a lot of work to get done right now, so I'll make my time count by going back home. Go ahead and celebrate their marriage for me. I'll talk to you later, Mom.
Candace, I'm sorry to have to ask this of you, but would you please go home for me? The wedding is still not started yet, so if you go home, nobody will ever notice. What? Are you kicking out the mother of the groom right now? The thing is, before being a mother person, you're a moneyless person, right? And I don't see any real point in letting someone like you stick around for the wedding today. Excuse me? You do understand what kind of wedding we're going to have today, right? Considering this is your older son's wedding, I want to make sure neither of us will be embarrassed by anyone and that it's very, very fancy. He happens to work for a large company as an elite businessman and is my pride and joy. So I would like to have a wedding today for him that will make all of his friends and mine jealous. But if there's even one poor person here today when it starts, I'm afraid the whole wedding will be ruined. Moneyless? You're going to call your fiancé's mother something like that on a day such as today? I'm just stating the facts. All you are is a poor woman who couldn't give me anything more than $1,000. Huh? I'm really disappointed in you, Candace. Brent happens to be your first son, and since your house is so big, I assumed that you had lots of money. I thought that meant you'd be giving me at least $20,000 with no issue at all. I even made sure to have a nice seat and everything set for you, but that was all for nothing. Right now, you are using some very selfish remarks to speak about this. I assumed before that you would become a really fine wife for Brent, considering you had always spoken so softly. However, now that's not the case at all. You don't need some kind woman to be your son's wife anymore now, do you? I was only being kind and soft-spoken before because I wanted to get close to you and your money. But since you don't have anything, why should I still be kind to you? I heard about the kind of person you've been under that mask from Grant. You seem to be worse than his brother has been to him, making fun of his job and calling him a shut-in. That's because ever since he was in middle school, he's done nothing other than sit in his room. Unlike what Brent has done, Grant never went to college after high school and never even looked for a job. He tells me all the time that he works remotely, but that really just means he's gaming in there. You really think I'm going to play nice with such a lowlife like him? Do not call my son a lowlife. I cannot believe this is the kind of behavior you've had all this time. I'm even more disappointed in you now. Like I was saying before, it's me who's disappointed in you right now. Now, you get your butt out of this wedding venue right now. I don't have any use for a moneyless old hag like you. And if you're not even going to give me the $20,000 I'd been wanting, then I'm not letting you sit and watch this fancy wedding unfold. I just want to ask this before I do leave, but has Brent said anything to you about what you're about to do? Is he okay with you kicking out his mother? Well. You thought he'd stop me from doing this? Well, that's too bad. He told me I could do whatever I wanted with you guys. I see. So even my older son is saying that it's fine for me to be kicked out? I'm sure that even he is disappointed in you now, Candace. He was so kind by allowing you to come and be at his wedding today. He was being kind by letting you come and see your older son, who just so happens to be very well educated and work for a large company as an elite, get married today. But now that we've seen you're nothing more than a selfish and moneyless old hag, you have to go. Brent himself is disappointed that his mother ended up being such a childish poor loser. Then tell him to give me back the money I put into the wedding. What? This gorgeous and fancy wedding you're supposed to have today? The one that's costing close to $70,000? Yeah, I'm the one paying for it. But since you both seem to be two heartless and self-centered pricks, I'm asking for all my money back. I'm heading home right now, so before I go, I want all that money back in my bank account. What do you mean? We haven't been borrowing any money from you in order to pay for this wedding today. This whole entire wedding is being paid for by Brent himself. Well, then you ask him where he got all that money from. Because as far as he and I should be aware, that money is all from me. Sure, he may make a lot at that nice job of his, but the kid has never saved any money. Ever. So in order to throw this wedding for you today, he came to me begging for some money. What did you say? I warned his sly little butt that if he didn't have the money to afford the wedding, not to try for it. I told him that you both should save up some money of your own first before even trying to plan one out. But Brent has always had this unknown pride inside him that I'm not sure where he got it from. And you know what he said to me? Right after going to the courthouse, there should be a wedding. I'm inviting all of my friends to it, so if the wedding isn't fancy, then I don't want to be married. Selfish things like that were all that came out of his filthy mouth. I had no other choice, so I said that I'd lend him however much money he needed for this wedding today. That has to be a lie, because he never once told me anything about that happening between you two. You think someone with ridiculously large pride would ever say that to their wife? He seems to think if he doesn't have any money, he can just get it from his parents. No way, though. By the way, he told me to keep this a secret from you. He told me that telling her would ruin my pride, so leave her out of this. So there you go. But you know what? His pride and the way it's affected you isn't my problem. I don't want to care about you two anymore. I don't have the time or money to be sitting around doing everything my dumbass son and his brain-dead wife say to me. Then that means he really has to give you all of that money back today? And then we'll have to pay it all off ourselves? $70,000? I can't pay that kind of money. If you don't have enough money, then use what you got as gifts from your parents and the guests to pay. You did say that all of his friends gave him money and that it was more than what I gave you, so there has to be close to $70,000 there. No way. I'm going home now. It's up to you and your husband to figure this all out now.
Hey! Mom! I told you to promise me that you'd never ever tell Mira about the money. Why the hell did you go and tell her without my permission first?
I was being kicked out of your wedding for being poor, okay? And from what she was saying, you agreed to having me kicked out. If you both want to act like total dicks to your family on the day of your wedding, then screw promises.
I had no other choice. I wanted to avoid getting into any fights with my wife today. Also, I never said that I agreed with what she was doing. Sure, I told her to do what she wanted, but that's all I said.
That excuse is not going to get you out of trouble this time. I want my money back right now.
Hold on, please, Mom. You promised me I could pay that back to you little by little each month, right? Having to pay that all back to you right now in one payment?
When you borrowed that money from me, you said something very important, right? You said that you'd make sure to show me one hell of a beautiful wedding today. Yet what about today has been so beautiful that it would make me feel special? You started it with all this promise breaking, Brent.
That was...
BS. You really went all out inviting all kinds of people today to be your guests, from coworkers to friends. That all should have given you more than enough money for your wedding today, along with Mira's family. If that doesn't give you enough to pay me back or pay off this wedding, then start selling the things you own in order to pay everything off.
You're kidding, right? If we have to sell all that we own, we won't have anything left in the end.
Really? Then perhaps you should have never tried giving such an expensive frickin' wedding to begin with.
No way!
One other thing. If you can't pay me back today, then I want you to come to my house when you have the money and hand it all over to me in person. I want you there doing so, not for me, but so that you can go and apologize to your brother for everything you've done to him.
Huh? Why do I have to do that for him?
About part of that money you received from me for your wedding, half of that came from Grant in order for you to have enough.
What? Grant gave half?
At the start, I was planning on handing you everything myself. But after talking with Grant about it, he said he felt bad that I had to hand over so much for you. A lot of the money would have come from my savings that I've had so I can retire with a safety net. So Grant told me to keep half and that he'd give me $35,000 to hand to you.
Come on now, there's no way that's true. Half would actually be $35,000, right? No way a shut-in loser like himself would ever have that kind of money to just give away.
You've always talked about your little brother in such a terrible way, haven't you? Well, that kid is making 5 times the amount you do in a year.
Huh? You're telling me he makes 5 times the amount I do?
Grant told me he just wants to focus on his work. So when it comes to his income and taxes, he's left me in charge of all of it. That's why I know how much he's making a year. And last year he went above and beyond to get a lot of work done. Because of that, he made close to 10 times your salary.
That's a damn lie! All Grant is a lost cause shut-in. Yeah, I've heard that all he does at home is work on things that relate to musicians or something, but I bet you 100% all he's doing is their chores, right? All he should be making doing that is their spare change. There's no freaking way in hell that such a gloomy loser like him is doing anything important with some stupid musicians.
God damn it, Brent. How much more are you going to slander your brother like that, huh? The way you're always making fun of everyone else and acting like you're the best is why everyone hates you so much. I thought that by getting married you would calm down a bit and learn to leave others alone. But no, you just ended up marrying a woman who just so happens to be even more unbearable. Which means that neither of you are ever going to learn to be half-decent people.
Hey, please, Mom, tell me that's a joke. Grant? He didn't even go to college after high school. He can't be making that much more than me every year. He can't be.
I don't know what else to say to a jerk like you. Have fun with your wedding, Brent. When it's over, get your ass to my house and pay up. Candace, thank you so much for lending us money to pay for our wedding like that. Because of that, today your older son and I were able to have the best wedding ever. All because you and Grant lended us so much money. You're welcome. I'm so happy to hear that the wedding went well for you guys. And so, after getting all the money together that we received from all our guests and family, we came to about $40,000. It really will be tough for us to pay everything back to you in one go like you asked for beforehand. So would it be all right if we had some time to gradually pay off the remainder to you both? No, I want all of that money back by the end of today. Then, What do you think about this? From now on, I'll make sure to be a lot more loving towards you as your daughter-in-law, because I'm being so generous by doing that for you. Could you just forget about the remaining money? What was that? How about every time I come over to your house to hang out with you, that pays off $200, and anytime I go out to dinner or something with you, another $300 is paid off. There aren't any daughter-in-laws on this earth that are willing to become close and love their mother-in-law, right? I'm sure that all of your friends will become oh so jealous of what you have. You have to be kidding me right now. Did you really make it this far in life only to come up with an idea like that for paying me back? That's right. I like to think that this idea I just gave you is way better for you and I than anything else like money. Oh, and here's an even better idea. What if I were to introduce your son Grant to a woman who might actually want to become his wife? Would you take the remainder and make it disappear? Huh? I just thought of this because Grant, being the shut-in that he is, he's never touched a girl before, right? However, hearing that he's making even more than Brent right now, I heard all about that from Brent just a second ago, actually. And, well, during my wedding today, I told a lot of my single friends about Grant, and they all started to say they wanted to meet him. That is enough from your ungrateful mouth. You think introducing some woman to my son is going to get all of that debt you're in cleared? How awful of a frickin' idea is that? But you being Grant's mother, Candace, you want to see him married to someone, right? I'm sure you've been worried for a long time now about him being forever alone, right? I happen to have a lot of really good-looking friends that I'd highly recommend for Grant. There has to be a decent price on showing a couple of women to your son that would love to marry him, right? Maybe $30,000 worth?
I'll go ahead and meet with those friends of yours, but you'll have to give me $1,000 first.
What?
Hi, this is Grant. Earlier today, you had me kicked out of your wedding due to the fact that I don't have any money, correct? I'm so happy that you'd be willing to introduce all of your friends to a man who has no money at all and is a parasite. How kind of you, really.
Grant?
I'm really sorry, though. I don't care to get married, but if you really want them to come and see me, then I'd like $1,000 first. If you can pay me that right now, then I'll be willing to set aside some time to entertain them.
Why would I have to pay for you doing that? I'm the one introducing a bunch of really sexy girls to you, you freak, and you want me to pay you for that? No frickin' way!
I never once asked you to show them to me. Also, I see you're still wanting to call me a freak and all that, but I'm making $1.3 million a year over here. Of course, to make that kind of money, I have to work a lot of hours every week. That means I don't have a lot of time to meet with other people. But if you're so dead set on me meeting with your friends, I can do that for you. For a price, of course.
No way. This is all too weird, right?
How is any of this weird to you? You were just going on about how you'd charge my mom to go and meet with her. Yet the moment I ask for money to meet with your friends, you want to throw a fit? What kind of spoiled little brat are you?
That was...
If you don't want to pay me, then forget about me seeing your friends. I don't even care to meet with anyone right now because I don't plan on getting married yet. So no, thank you. Therefore, from now on, unless it's about the money you owe us, don't talk to my mom or me. Based on how the wedding went for us today, my mom and I are now cutting ties to the both of you.
What? Are you serious?
My brother seems to have such large pride now that he thinks he can just do whatever he wants to anyone without ever being punished for it. I don't care if he's our family, we don't see him that way anymore.
No way, wait. I only just found out how much money you have, Grant. You and your mom both have the money to pay for our wedding like that without any worries at all, right? I feel like I can really grow close to you both now, yet you're wanting to cut ties to us now? Don't say that.
Well, my mom and I don't have any reason to grow closer to you, but we have plenty of reasons now for why we want to get as far away as possible. Anywho, my mom has one last thing to say. Don't even think about getting any of my money after I die. I plan to use it all up so there's nothing left for anyone. There you go.
You're joking!
My mom would never joke about something like her money. I asked her to start spending it all up so there'd be nothing left when she's gone. I have the money to take care of her if she ends up spending it all too soon, so don't worry. I've always been a bit of a shut-in, like you said, but I happen to appreciate my mom for all she's done for me while I've lived here. So I'm paying that favor to her.
No way. I don't want her spending all of our money. Please take back what you said about cutting ties to us. I'll apologize for all the horrible things I said earlier.
We don't need your apologies anymore. Now, you and my brother have a good one. I'll be with my mom, taking great care of her so that you both won't have to.
After that, with all of the money and other things they received as gifts, their car being sold, and Brent's watch being sold, they were able to pay Grant and I back everything they owed. But right after that was taken care of, Brent learned about all of Mira's debt. She had gone and maxed out her credit cards on things like facial care for the wedding, as well as full-body spa treatments, putting her at $10,000 in debt. I'm sure the reason she was asking for so much from me at her wedding is because she wanted to pay that off as well. She had only just gotten married and was on her way to becoming a housewife, but due to her poor spending, she was now having to work a part-time job. As for what happened with Brent, it turns out him not making as much as Grant every year really got to him. He started to mumble to himself that he would show everyone that he was better than his little brother, and really began to focus all of his energy into his job. But due to him being so hostile in the workplace and never reaching the sales goals made for him, he was asked to transfer to a different department where he wouldn't make nearly as much as he had been. And that transfer will require him to move to a completely different state.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.